call 835-WOLF. Remember, you calling the Wolf. That's all you had to say. Call today.
We realize now more than ever is the perfect time to have the perfect house. We're confident we'll find your dream home. Howard Hanna. Home happens here.
Good evening, Western New York High School sports fans, and welcome to WNYathletics.com for tonight's high school football action. We are coming to you live from Wilson High School for a Class C matchup between the Wilson Lakemen and their arch rival, the NEWFANE Panthers. John Simon here alongside Frank Wolf for tonight's Class C matchup. It's a North Division class featuring two teams that have yet to get a win so far in 2021. But yes, as I mentioned, it's a rivalry matchup. You throw the record books out the window, and that's what we got here tonight between Wilson and NEWFANE.
You know, these teams were in the playoffs not too long ago. They didn't necessarily face each other, but you have teams that have been to the postseason. Of course, in this COVID short season, John, nothing's a guarantee. Your next game isn't a guarantee. We see teams that have gone out this afternoon that were scheduled to play tomorrow. And so, I mean, anything can happen. You're right. It is a rivalry game, but these teams are not too far removed from playing in the postseason. Wilson, we know the long history, the success that they've had year after year after year. You know, you started with, the Steve Frericks, all the way moved up till last year with Coach Atlas's son at quarterback. They still have the makings of a playoff team. I don't care what that record says. They played Tonawanda very, very tough just about 2 weeks ago. Last week was a game against Will South. I mean, so you went up and you played a team that was 2 classes above your grade. So, and they took that game on short notice. So my hat's off to Coach Atlas for doing that.
Yeah, both these teams come into this game already having dealt with COVID issues, and we'll get into that, throughout tonight's game. But, you said both these teams aren't too far away or far off from playing playoff games. They're not too far off from playing each other either, Frank. They met in the regular season finale back in 2019, and Wilson squeaked by NEWFANE with a 16-13 overtime victory. And when I was talking with NEWFANE's head coach, Chuck Nagel, earlier yesterday before the game, he said that game could have very much been ours. We shot ourselves in the foot. We dropped 3 interceptions on Wilson's final drive. We dropped 2 touchdown passes on our final drive in regulation, and, they kicked a field goal in overtime, and then Wilson ended up going ahead with a game-winning touchdown. So they were right in it with Wilson at the end of the regular season. Wilson was in the Class C championship game at the end of the year last year at Ralph Wilson Stadium, or New Era Cap Field, whatever it's called now. Who cares? No one's going to yell at me. But we call it Ralph Wilson Stadium. So, like you said, 2019 was a long time ago. It's a new season, but these two teams still have a lot of momentum, and we are ready to go with NEWFANE kicking off to Wilson to start this first quarter. It's going to be run out here by Chris Dispenza. He gets out past the 25 and then is met by a mob of Panthers. And that is where we will see the NEWFANE offense for the first time. The Lakemen in all white unis with the white helmets and orange pants, and NEWFANE in the dark blue tops with gray helmets and dark pants. And you'll see the Panthers first on defense.
Yeah, I had a chance to see Wilson against Tonawanda in their opening game. They can move the ball. I'm more impressed with their defense. We'll have to see if that offense has gotten better since that first time I saw him at Tonawanda.
And you'll see junior quarterback Tyler Uset in the shotgun for Wilson on 1st and 10. And I'll hand it off here to Luke Atlas, and he gets a nice gain on first down, about 9. And you mentioned Coach Bill Atlas' son, Robert, last year the starting quarterback. This year, Luke, starter in the backfield at running back.
Well, his quarterback last year was the thrower. This one's a runner.
And he picks up a nice gain on that first run. It'll be 2nd and 2 for Wilson. We mentioned the Lakemen coming into this game 0-2. lost to Tonawanda 9-6 during the opening week, and then Williamsville South in a non-leaguer in week 2. Set under center for 2nd and 10. And he's going to hand it off to Atlas again, and he gets enough for a first down. That'll move the chains, and that's the first one of the night for Wilson. Hopefully many for Bill Atlas and co.
And you'll see a lot of number 22, Andy Lachinsky, for the NEWFANE Panthers. He's a great athlete, John, and he's very quick to the ball. He's a ball hawk. Anytime Atlas or one of these other guys on Wilson get the ball in their hands, you can expect Lachinsky to be not too far behind.
And this NEWFANE defense looking to rebound from what was a 50-point loss in Week 1 to Medina. This is NEWFANE's first game since that Week 1 matchup. They were on a 10-day COVID pause, so did not get to play Week 2. 1st and 10 for Set from Wilson's own 41. He's going to hand it off to Atlas again, getting a lot of carries early. Gets some space out to the left side, picks up a first down and more. And looks like Atlas gets down right around the NEWFANE territory. And Wilson strictly sticking to the ground game right now, but they are moving up the field in nice fashion, quick fashion, I should say, on this first series.
And notice how they ran to the left side there away from Lachinsky. It's a good coaching decision by this Wilson offense.
And with the weather not the nicest tonight, despite it being mid-April, it feels more like it's late September, early October when football season's normally played. Low 40s, some rain, some wind. We'll see if Wilson stays on the ground for most of their offensive strategy here. Receiver in motion by Set. 1st and 10, it's another run for Atlas. Gets about 5 there and is brought down around the 35 of NEWFANE.
It was Pasquale, number 76, wrapping him up for a nice tackle. Notice these defensive backs are playing good 10 yards off the receivers.
Maybe just assuming that they're not throwing right now. Right now, I don't think NEWFANE's worried about the receivers. They might be worried about just stopping Luke Atlas because he has only picked up positive yards on each carry so far.
They didn't throw the ball a whole heck of a lot against Tonawanda.
2nd and 4 here from about the NEWFANE 35. Set under center again.
Showing blitz here.
And he's going to hand it off again to Atlas. Looks like he got close to the first down marker. We'll see where they spot him here, but this could be a big play coming up for Wilson as the clock is running.
And our clock on your screen at home is a little off. I can't reset it, unfortunately.
We'll reset at the end of the quarter.
New program we're working with today, folks. We're about 8 seconds ahead of the play. My man, Kyrie Demos, is in the press box.
Hey, Kyrie. Nice to see you.
From the Gazette.
So it'll be 3rd and 1. Atlas did not pick up that first down on the last run. So it'll be short distance for Wilson to keep this drive going. Set under center. Takes the snap. And it looked like he handed off to the fullback there, and that is a useful play, but that one's going to be coming back, Frank. Luke Atlas only listed at 5'8", 150, but he delivered a big shot there. And despite picking up the first down, this is going to come back for Wilson.
We'll have to see what the official call on that was, John.
And I didn't even catch to see which number got the carry. I assumed that the ball was going to Atlas on 3rd and 1 there. I think they gave it to a fullback. It might have been lineman number 13. I know he's their tight end, but he might have gotten a run there as well. So, but we'll see. It is a first down for Wilson. They did pick that up. The penalty by Atlas came afterwards. It was just a late hit to one of the defenders. And we'll see. This will push them back just about. They'll be inside the 40. It'll be at the 38 in NEWFANE.
They've gotten positive yardage on pretty much every play they've run so far. So NEWFANE's going to have to start shoring it up a little bit. Maybe put an extra man in the box.
So 1st and 10 from the 38 of NEWFANE. Set, hand off to Atlas. Tries to find some space on the left side, but he runs into a defender, and the ball might have popped out. Got a little bit of a reaction from the NEWFANE sideline, but I guess Atlas was down. It'll stay with Wilson. But that was a nice tackle there. Tyler, I was just about to say.
I believe the ball came out after the player was already down on the turf, but heads-up play by NEWFANE to quickly get to the ball.
Already a little over 4 minutes, actually 5 minutes gone by in this opening quarter. Just about 7:30 to go. Wilson taking a lot of time with their opening possession. Got the opening kick to start this game and have held the ball ever since. Uset under center, 2nd and 7. Takes the snap, hands it off. Atlas up the middle. Shakes one tackler, but then he's met by a few more Panthers and is finally brought down. Don't know if he got more than a yard or two on that run. So we'll see what Bill Atlas, Wilson's head coach, and his squad draw up here on 3rd and 5. This is their most crucial down of this drive so far. Clock still running, under 7 minutes now in this opening quarter. Score still 0-0 as we mentioned. Wilson, first team to get the ball. Uset got a couple receivers out wide but remains under center. Takes the snap, hands it off to Atlas again, gets through a couple tackles and is brought down. He's going to be a yard or two short. He stretched his arm out, trying to get an extra yard before being brought down. And Frank, I mean, these guys are in 4-down territory. I'd assume they're going to go for it here on 4th and 2.
Yeah, I would agree with you there. I see number 1, Mason Branca, coming out there for Wilson as he checks in, and Anthony Dispenza is checking out along with Ben Lyman.
And actually, they've changed it to 4th and 3, not 4th and 2. So ball on the 31 of NEWFANE, and now you set in the shotgun. 3 receivers to his right at the bottom of your screen. He's got one up top to his left. But before we get that 4th down snap, we got a timeout. And with that, we'll take a quick break ourselves and be right back for more action here on WNY Athletics.
Call 835-WOLF. Remember, you calling the Wolf, that's all you had to say. Call today.
I love being home.
We realize now more than ever is the perfect time to have the perfect house. We're confident we'll find your dream home. Howard Hanna. Home happens here.
And we're back here on WNYathletics.com. John Simon, Frank Wolf coming to you live from Wilson High School for some Section 6 Class C football. It's a North Division matchup between the Wilson Lakemen and the NEWFANE Panthers. First quarter going on right now. Wilson in the midst of their first drive of the game. They got the opening kickoff and have taken it a pretty decent amount of ways down the field, but now they're facing a 4th and 3 from the 31 of NEWFANE. And we'll see if the Lakemen can keep this drive alive.
It's a great opening drive, Jack, considering the time they've taken off the clock.
Yeah, absolutely. Already halfway through this quarter, 5:44 on the clock, and now we got some movement. Flags coming out, and we'll see who this goes against first. I mean, both sides moved. I mean, we'll see who goes first, and it looks like it's going to go against NEWFANE.
Got him on the hard count there, Mr. Simon.
And I wonder if that's what Atlas and his quarterback Uset were talking about in that timeout, Frank, was let's do whatever we can to get this team to jump. Forget the 3 yards. Let's get the auto first and keep going.
It's a veteran coaching move by Coach Atlas.
And he's working with a relatively young team, Frank. A lot of the main pieces that, were a part of this Wilson team that went to the sectional championship last year graduated. Westmoreland, Dunlop, Ferry, all those guys are gone. This is a relatively new group that Coach Atlas has, but he likes what they've got so far. So 1st and 10 from the 25 of NEWFANE. Uset back under center. Hands it again to Atlas. Gets through the middle in between the tackles, but the ball's loose. He lost it earlier, but was down. This time he wasn't. And after a long, drawn-out drive by the Wilson Lakemen, NEWFANE takes over inside their own 20.
Number 80, Xavier Thomas, I believe, was the first man to the ball on that play, creating the turnover. I'm not exactly sure who that was. There was a gang of tacklers there. Alice has been running hard that entire first drive. He had that near fumble there close to the 30 a few plays before. And this time, the Panthers come away with it.
So now you'll see the NEWFANE offense for the first time. Senior quarterback Zach Snow, number 3, will be the man leading that group this evening. NEWFANE, as I mentioned, coming off of a 50-0 loss to Medina in week 1. Snow in the shotgun on the first snap. Looks to throw, but now he'll run it himself. Picks up a good chunk of yards before getting out of bounds, and he might have gotten enough for the first down even.
Yeah, they also have a quarterback that can scramble here at NEWFANE, and they got a quick turnaround. They'll be playing Tuesday night against Tonawanda.
And they'll be playing next weekend as well. Yeah, they were on a 10-day pause. Were unable to play Tonawanda in their week 2 matchup. Tonawanda was on a 10-day pause, I think, as well.
Well, they're on a pause right now.
Right. So NEWFANE.
They actually picked up a game against Starpoint, a Class A team, and they shut them out. Tonawanda beat Starpoint 7-0 a little less than a week ago, and that's not really being talked about.
So it'll be 2nd and 1 here for Wilson. Snow just a yard short of picking up the first, and he's a few yards short of completing that pass there. Actually threw that ball a little too long. And that one intended for Scotty Penwright, number 11. But that'll bring up 3rd and 1 for NEWFANE. We're playing their first game in a little over 2 weeks. Always tough to come back into game speed after having a long break. That's what Coach Chuck Nagel told me. He basically said our backs were up against the wall. There was no positives to going on a break. Sure, guys were able to rest up a little bit and heal some injuries, but being on the break did not help NEWFANE at all. And now we get a timeout from the Panthers with 5:23 to go in this first quarter.
And John, it's not like they have 40 men on the roster here. So
right.
You're playing every practice, every day. You're going against the same 25 to 30 players. So you can't really have that 11 on 11, a healthy 11 on 11, if you will.
And, in fact, Coach Nagel even told me, Frank, a number of the players are out this game due to injury, due to quarantine or COVID. He had to talk to a couple JV guys during the week and pull them up, and they just played a game yesterday. So because of that, these JV guys can play at most 10 plays, a piece in this game. He said that might be all we need them for, but, there are quite a number of JV guys up with NEWFANE tonight. And, and their numbers, you said it, they don't have the largest roster. They started the season with 34. And now with you mixing, quarantine, COVID injuries, couple guys dropping out early in the season, they're down to 21, 22 guys, not including the JV players called up for tonight. So NEWFANE working with small numbers, it's tough, but so far, so good for them. They're in this game, and we still got plenty of time left. So now they're back on the field out of the timeout, 5:23 to go in the opening quarter, but it's a big snap here for NEWFANE, facing a 3rd and 1 deep in their own territory. Snow in the shotgun. Set to receiver in motion before the snap. He'll keep it. Snow picks up the first down, gets over a defender, and runs out past the 35 before going out of bounds. But this may be moving back as we got a yellow flag out on the field.
That was a very nice run by the quarterback there. And he can throw the ball, too. He's got a nice little touch.
Mm-hmm.
He threw an earlier pass earlier, obviously off the mark, but I think you'll see them throw the ball a little bit more than Wilson will today.
And this NEWFANE offense obviously off to a slow start. Didn't score at all against Medina in week 1, and they haven't been able to work together a lot due to being on a COVID pause last week. And this penalty is going to move them back. I'll make it 3rd, and we'll see what distance they put up. But Frank, this NEWFANE team, they were on a 10-day pause. They had to go through the 15 months of waiting to play football just like everybody else since the pandemic started. But they've also had to replace a couple of key pieces on their offense. This was a team that had a couple guys that were close to 1,000 yards rushing last year, and those are obviously not easy, holes to fill. But now NEWFANE is ready, and they do get the first down, actually. They did move the yard markers and down marker up. So it's 1st and 10 NEWFANE from their own 28. Snow remains in the shotgun. Now sets once the receiver in motion, and he quickly hands it off. That's Jason Dumays. And he only got about a yard or two before being brought down there.
Yeah, they're missing Jaden Harris. There's no question about it. Jaden Harris is one of the most powerful runners in Section 6 last year. I would definitely say a top 5, top 10 running back in the section last year, maybe the best in one of the best in Class C, and that's saying something considering the company he had with Taiwan Wright from Southwestern. We do have an injured player on the field right now. We should probably take a timeout. We'll be back in just a few moments after a word from our sponsor.
300 Level Media is a locally owned and operated multi-purpose media company right here in Western New York. You'll find us everywhere, covering the Bills, Sabres, Buttes, Bisons, Big Four basketball, local college sports, and much more. Our staff offers a variety of media services, from video production, live event coverage, audio broadcasts, professional voiceovers, camera operation, and videography. Visit www.300levelmedia.com or give us a call at 716-427-2600. This is 300 Level Media.
When it's time to sell your home, start with a visit to howardhanna.com, ranked the #1 real estate site for sellers. A few clicks will show you the sales price you can expect for your home. We can get you the most money in the quickest amount of time because we know where the local buyers are and how to reach them. So if it's time to sell your home, visit howardhanna.com today, and we'll match you with a local Howard Hanna agent to sell your home fast.
I love being home.
At Cairo First Wellness, your health and well-being is our passion. Let us take care of you and your family like one of our own.
Cairo First Wellness Center is dedicated to providing patients long-term relief and teaching them how to continue taking care of themselves. With a blend of different techniques, services, and personalized treatment plans, we'll help you find wellness in a way that's right for you. Between chiropractic care, spinal decompression, nutritional counseling, massage therapy, custom orthotics, and more, your relief is in our hands. If twisting, popping, and cracking intimidate you, our Pro Adjuster restores the same range of motion as a physical adjustment would with gentle, repeated tapping.
Dr. Mo at Cairo First has been taking care of my back needs for the past 4 years. His staff treats you like family. I've had the traction, I've had the massage done, and every time leave here feeling fresh and brand new.
Cairo First.
And we're back here on WNYathletics.com. Injury timeout is over. Hoping that Cade Littman, one of the offensive linemen for NEWFANE, is all right. Was just on the field and a little shaken up after that play, but we're back and ready to go. 2nd and 10 for the Panthers. With the clock ticking now, under 4:40 to go in this first quarter. Snow, shotgun snap, hands it off. It's Dumais again, and he doesn't get too far out to the right. Is brought down, and looks like that was only a gain of about a yard or two.
Nice open field tackle by Luke Atlas there of Wilson. He can play both ways. He does, as a lot of these guys do on Wilson. It's Coach Atlas' style. He's just giving guys that can go both ways. He's had them for years.
So this will bring up another 3rd down for NEWFANE. They've seen quite a couple on this opening offensive series. Haven't gotten out past the 50 yet. Still on their own 32. 3rd and 6 for NEWFANE. Snow waiting to take the snap, gets a receiver in motion, and now we got another one going way too early. This is going to bring NEWFANE back, and this is going to make it a 3rd and even longer.
Yeah, that's a false start there on the end.
And that's a nice break for this Wilson defense who, NEWFANE's had made some progress on this drive, but they really just seemingly haven't gotten anywhere despite having the ball for the last 2-3 minutes.
Well, the big play they had was called back.
So this is 3rd and 11 now. NEWFANE back at their own 27. And they're going to need a big play here to keep this drive going. Atlas playing way back there at safety for Wilson. And Snow sees the rush and the ball's out. It's recovered by Wilson. The Lakemen take over. Anthony Dispenza, the one to fall on the loose ball there. So after a turnover thwarted their first offensive drive, Wilson forces NEWFANE to cough the ball up, and now they get the ball back in pretty favorable territory.
And, John, if you've been watching this Wilson team, it's absolutely no surprise who made that play happen. Number 55, Ben Mahar, big, tough, physical. As always, I saw him play against Tonawanda, and he is a treasure, and he's definitely one of those cogs, if you will, for Wilson. He's going to he's a difference maker, and he just did right there. And Wilson's got great field position once again.
One of just 7 seniors on this relatively young Wilson team. Mahar setting a nice example there, setting the lead there, forcing that big turnover. So 3:30 to go in this quarter. Wilson with the ball back. 1st and 10. Uset throwing on 1st down, and it's knocked to the turf. He was looking for Jared Jakes, the 6'1" senior receiver, but just couldn't connect with the big man there in the front of the end zone.
And Jake saw that was not a great thrown ball. It was more in defensive mode there than trying to go up and catch it. So he made a nice play there to knock it out of the defensive back's hand, who was right there ready for the interception.
That stops the clock. 3:25 roughly to go in this first quarter. Wilson making a couple substitutions in the huddle there. Had a pretty successful first drive, as we mentioned. It just ended in a fumble that was recovered by NEWFANE, but the Lakemen moved the ball from around their own 25 all the way inside to the red zone of NEWFANE. Now they got a short field to work with here to get their first points on the board. 2nd and 10, pitch to Atlas. He plunges forward for a few yards.
And I think it's a good idea to get the ball back in Atlas's hands. I mean, he's a playmaker. He's a runner. He coughed up the ball, made a mistake. It's good that they go right back to him to just get those touches again and get comfortable again.
Yeah, aside from the fumble on the first play or on that first drive, every other play that they ran with him was positive, so you might as well stick with him. 3rd and 5, from about the 21 of NEWFANE. And
Just a very quick handoff.
Yeah, and that was
Dispenza.
That was Anthony Dispenza taking the handoff there. Might have gotten enough for the first down. We'll see where they mark it. Looks like it's going to be about a yard short. So this will be 4th and 1 for Wilson, maybe even less than a yard. But this is definitely 4-down territory if you're the Lakemen.
Pretty much any team in B, C, D from this point on and a lot of A schools will always go for it in this territory. I don't care if it's 4th and 9, 4th and 15. A lot of schools will go for it.
Yeah, you never know. Some teams have improved special teams this year with soccer players being able to play football, not having the sports in the same season. But there you see Uset keep the drive alive for Wilson. He plunges ahead to pick up the first down. And now the Lakemen inside the 15.
Uset was not under center against Tonawanda. It was actually Jakes that was taking the snaps that day. Uset may have got a snap or two, but it was Jakes who was taking most of the snaps for Wilson.
So 1st and 10 from the 14. Wilson picking right where they left off on their opening drive, just trying to finish it with points now. In motion is Lyman. Uset handing it off to Atlas. He runs out to the left, gets around a couple of defenders, and then is finally brought down. But that's a nice cut there by Luke Atlas to get some extra yards. And as we near the final minute of the quarter, Wilson continuing to push closer to that goal line of NEWFANE.
Yeah, that's Lachinsky again on the tackle. He gets from sideline to sideline pretty quick.
See Wilson continuing to put in different bodies, different packages on offense. They don't have a lot of extra guys on that sideline, but they're certainly rotating in and out the ones that they do have. So this will be 2nd and 3 for Wilson from the 7. And running inside there is Atlas. Might have gotten a yard.
They're using that play clock up. They're running off the 40 seconds.
And we'll see if Wilson elects to run another play here. There's only 15 seconds left in the quarter, and the clock's running. And the Lakemen don't look like they're in any hurry to get this snap off. So I think that is going to bring it the first quarter to an end. Yeah, no, they're not going to run this play. So we got zeros through 12 minutes here at Wilson High School. The Lakemen and the visiting NEWFANE Panthers scoreless through a quarter. John Simon, Frank Wolf here. We'll be right back for more action here on WNY Athletics.
300 Level Media is a locally owned and operated multi-purpose media company right here in Western New York. You'll find us everywhere, covering the Bills, Sabres, Buttes, Bisons, Big Four basketball, local college sports, and much more. Our staff offers a variety of media services, from video production, live event coverage, audio broadcasts, professional voiceovers, camera operation, and videography. Visit www.300levelmedia.com or give us a call at 716-427-2600. This is 300 Level Media.
When it's time to sell your home, start with a visit to howardhanna.com, ranked the #1 real estate site for sellers. A few clicks will show you the sales price you can expect for your home. We can get you the most money in the quickest amount of time because we know where the local buyers are and how to reach them. So if it's time to sell your home, visit howardhanna.com today, and we'll match you with a local Howard Hanna agent to sell your home fast.
I love being home.
At Kyle First Wellness, your health.
And we're back here on WNYathletics.com, WNY Athletics Facebook page, YouTube. I want to thank all viewers for tuning in wherever you may be watching. Just about set for second quarter action here between Wilson and NEWFANE here at Wilson High School. The Lakemen of Wilson currently with the ball. 3rd and 2 from the 7 of NEWFANE. Uset takes the snap, hands it to Atlas, and he takes a big shot there. Might have actually sent him forward to pick up an extra yard. We'll see where they mark him, if it's a 1st and goal opportunity for Wilson or a 4th down. And I think they're going to be a yard short. So it'll be 4th and 1 for Wilson here from the 5.
That Lucinski kid must be a wrestler. And he is. He is very accomplished.
So fourth down and 1. Sorry, they're mixing up the scoreboard on me here. But 4th and 1 for Wilson from the 5. Looking to keep this drive going. They hand it off to Dispenza, and let's see if he got the touchdown. They're ruling him just short of the end zone. He picked up the 1st down for Wilson, so it keeps the drive alive, and that was really the main goal of the play. But Dispenza almost had himself 6 points there as well.
Yeah, he is an athlete, too. He does make a lot of plays on both sides of the field.
A 1st and goal at the 1-yard line for Wilson, looking to break first on the scoreboard here in this Class C North matchup. Uset under center, takes the snap. It's Dispenza again, and he crosses the goal line with ease. Touchdown, Wilson, and the Lakemen take an early 6-0 lead here in the second quarter.
There's actually 10:44 on the clock. I'll try and reset that for our peeps at home.
So that 1-yard rushing touchdown for Anthony Dispenza gives Wilson a 6-0 lead, and now Jakes is in, to take the extra point. Jakes gets a kick away, and he got it up, and he got it through. So that'll make it 7-0 Wilson here early in the second quarter. And after a turnover, ended their first drive that opened up this game. The Lakemen bounce back after forcing a turnover themselves and take the early 7-0 lead in the early stages of this second quarter.
So far, it's been Wilson with their 2 drives. Excuse me, that was their 3rd drive. I had it right the first time, John? Wilson's 2nd drive. They ate up a lot of clock on that first one. They didn't need a lot of time to get down the field on this one, thanks in large part to the turnover and the excellent field position. But they capitalized this time. They didn't their first time around. They had the fumble, but they quickly put that behind them, and they're out in front 7-0 on their rival NEWFANE.
So Wilson was able to rebound from their first offensive possession, which ended in a turnover with a touchdown. We'll see if NEWFANE can do the same here as they're set to return this kick. Jakes going to be the man to boot it for Wilson. He gets a nice one away. That'll be returned from about the 25. And running it out is Udette. He gets past the 40 and will be marked at about the 42-yard line of NEWFANE. So a nice starting spot here for the Panthers. This is, right around where they got to on their first drive, or where their first drive ended when they turned the ball over.
Pretty much their best field position of the afternoon.
Yeah. So we'll see the Panthers offense come out for a second time. Still looking to get their first points of the season.
Yeah, unfortunately, they did run into a buzzsaw in Medina. That's the Mustangs are loaded, John. It would appear they've got 2 big wins, blowout wins, really, if you think about it. So, maybe the Panthers aren't necessarily 50 points. That score was indicative of what type of team the Panthers have this season.
Zach Snow ready to take the first down snap. Goes to his right, and now we see the Panther option for the first time. But Rolls is brought down a few yards behind the line of scrimmage, a considerable ways back. A nice job by the Wilson defense there to snuff out that run. And as we know, Frank, NEWFANE, they are a triple option team. They like to run that. And Wilson, one of their main goals, Coach Atlas told me, was stopping that run, stopping that option. And you saw Wilson do exactly that right there.
And you've been calling Anthony Dispenza's name all afternoon. That's Chris Dispenza, his brother. He had a sack in that game against Tonawanda.
So that backs NEWFANE up 7 yards. It'll be 2nd and 17 from their own 35. Snow taking the shotgun snap. He sees some pressure. He's able to get it away. Rolls is there to make the catch and gain some nice yards, and fumbled when he was going down, but the ball went out of bounds. So NEWFANE able to escape another turnover there. And a nice job by Snow to get that ball away. That play could have very easily been broken down into an incompletion or another loss of yards for NEWFANE, but it turns into a gain of about 15.
The senior quarterbacks showing that he does have a little bit of experience and some playmaking ability right there.
For Camden Rolls, a junior that plays a number of positions for NEWFANE, did a nice job just making that catch and then moving the ball upfield a little bit. Didn't have a lot of space to work with there, but like I said, picked up a big 15 yards. It's now 3rd and 2. Right at midfield is NEWFANE. We see the option again, and Snow's just able to get it away, but being stopped short of a first down is Dumays. And that's another nice job by the Wilson defense to get to that option before they were giving up any big yards.
Chris Dispenza was the one that drew that defender down.
And they're going to mark that as no gain for NEWFANE. Now it's Jason Dumays, the senior fullback, with the run there. And with it being a short yardage situation for NEWFANE, we'll see if the Panthers go with that again. And it actually looks like they're going to punt. I'm a little surprised from right at midfield. That's decent territory. Nice job handling the low snap there was Trevor Heschke. The punt is right around the 25 of Wilson, and that is where the Panthers will down it. So with 8:46 to go till halftime, the Wilson defense gets another nice stop, and we'll see the Lakemen offense return to the field looking to add on to this 7-0 lead.
Well, that could have been trouble, John. You saw the snap. It was extremely low. The punter handled it professionally, perfectly, and I think you're going to see a lot of that, especially the fact that NEWFANE hasn't played a lot of football.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to see that those, I don't want to say brutal exchanges, but they're going to be tougher to handle. They haven't had a lot of practice in game situations.
Yeah, that was one of the things that Coach Hagel told me. He gave his guys a lot of, homework, assignments to do while they were in quarantine. They weren't able to do team activities, but he said it's just like taking a test. You can tell the guys everything you need to tell them, give them everything that you need to give them prior to the game, but you'll only know how much they learned from it, how much they studied it once they go out there. And so far, it hasn't been a bad start for NEWFANE. The offense has to get going, but the defense has done a decent job of slowing Wilson down. They forced a turnover, just haven't been able to match them on the scoreboard yet.
Long way to go.
Absolutely. Still got a little over 8 minutes to go in this half, a whole second half to play.
See Mr. Mark Adair from New York Football Magazine out on the sidelines today. Looking forward to that magazine starting up again in the fall.
2nd and 9 for Wilson here. You set back in the shotgun. They got a short gain on first down with a run by Atlas. Now you settle look to throw. And that one just a little high. He was looking for Chris Dispenza. And we haven't seen a lot of passing from Wilson so far in this game, so interesting to see them pull it out there.
He had Dispenza wide open. Snow was off him a good 10 yards. But that was a throw that you got to make in this league.
So Wilson continuing to rotate bodies out in that offense. Going to give NEWFANE a different look here on 3rd and 9. This is really the longest third down that Wilson has had to face so far in this game on the offensive side. You set, spreading out his guys again. Looks like they weren't sure where to go at first, but now Wilson's ready. You set, takes the snap, and looks like we had a whistle before.
See some laundry on the field.
And it's going to be against Wilson. Looked like he signaled for a hold, but that couldn't have been what it was. Either way, though, penalty against Wilson backs them up. This will make it 3rd and 14 now. They're from their own 21. This is going to be a big play here for Wilson. Otherwise, they risk going 3 and out and letting the NEWFANE offense get a short field here. You set in the shotgun, 4 receivers out wide, 2 to each side. Takes the snap. Sees some pressure, runs out to his left. He's able to get it away, and it was nearly picked off. NEWFANE was right there to get that interception. It was Andy Lasinski that got his hands on the ball. But it'll stay with NEWFANE here, and now I assume, Frank, being deep in their own territory, this will be assumingly have to be a Wilson punt.
And Coach Atlas is having a discussion with the quarterback, letting him know that, the decision you wanted was right in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
Positive yards were staring you in the face, and you looked towards the center of the field to throw across your body with only 20 yards behind you, John, if you turn the ball over. So Coach Atlas is letting his quarterback know that you got to be a little smarter there.
Jakes gets a high punt away there that rolls just a little past midfield, and it'll be down right around the NEWFANE 45. So a nice punt there by Jakes. Sets NEWFANE back at least on the other side of midfield. And we'll see the Panther offense return out after not too long of a break. That was a nice 3 and out forced by the NEWFANE defense.
It was a nice defensive stance
Especially
for the Panthers, and they needed it.
Yeah, I mean, they just gave up a long drive to open the game. Wilson had the ball for probably 7-8 minutes to start the first quarter, and then they followed that up with a touchdown. So that's as good of a response as you can give if you're the NEWFANE defense.
And Coach Nagel said that his defense could be the strength of his team this year. They showed it on that particular series.
So now we'll see Zach Snow and the offense come back out. They had a little bit more success on their first drive than their second. The second one ended rather abruptly. And before we get to that drive, we'll take a timeout. With a timeout on the field, 7:36 to go until halftime. Stick with us. We'll be right back for more high school football action here on WNY Athletics.
We realize now more than ever is the perfect time to have the perfect house. We're confident we'll find your dream home. Howard Hanna. Home happens here.
And we're back here on WNYathletics.com, WNY Athletics Facebook page, YouTube channel, wherever you may be watching. John Simon, Frank Wolf here. Mike Wagner handling the camera duties for us tonight. And we are out at Wilson High School for tonight's matchup between the Wilson Lakemen and the NEWFANE Panthers in this Class C North football clash. First down here for NEWFANE as their defense just came up with a 3 and out stop of Wilson. Zach Snow in the shotgun, got 3 receivers to his right. And he'll hand it off here, but right away, Wilson's defensive line able to snuff out the run. That was Dumays again taking the carry, but he took a big shot there.
Yeah, we saw Wilson can play defense too. They had Tonawanda on the run quite a bit, especially every time Tonawanda went back to pass. Wilson was in the backfield, so they can get to the quarterback.
2nd and 10 here for NEWFANE. Actually looks more like it'll be about 2nd and 12. Snow dropping back. He has a man open, but his receiver wasn't looking. And we had a little bit of a collision there. It wasn't nearly as bad as it could have been. He was looking for Xavier Thomas. And, I mean, for all sense, NEWFANE was very lucky that that play didn't get any worse than it was.
Absolutely. It was a football play, John, number one. It was a football play. The receiver had his back turned to the ball. At the very last second, he turned towards it. And once the ball got past him, number 11 held up. I mean, he really could have laid into him, but number 11 for Wilson recognized that the ball was past the intended target and laid up on the intended receiver.
So it's 3rd and long now for NEWFANE, but just as the ball is snapped, we get some laundry thrown on the field. It's going to be a false start against NEWFANE. That's not going to help the Panthers. This will back them up 5 and make it 3rd and even longer. And just going back to that play for NEWFANE, as we mentioned, they're down quite a number of guys tonight, have some injuries, have some guys out due to COVID quarantine, had a couple more kids leave the team at the early portion of the season. So the Panthers had to bring up some guys from JV tonight. They really couldn't afford to lose any more pieces. So luckily Thomas only briefly shaken up on that play. But 3rd and 17 now from their own 38. NEWFANE looking to avoid another short trip on offense. Snow trying to avoid some pressure. More flags being thrown. His pass is incomplete. Was looking there for Tyler Udet again. But like we said, there are flags on the field. We'll see what results from this. And it's going to be another penalty against NEWFANE. Assume Wilson's going to decline that and just take the 4th down. It's going to be 4th and 17, and looks like we're going to see another Panthers punt here.
Those are the types of calls you're going to see on a day like today, especially after NEWFANE's been off for so long.
So Luke Atlas is back around his team's own 35 to receive the punt for Wilson. Punting for NEWFANE here is Heschke. Again, he gets a low snap, but is able to get the kick away. And this one will roll just past the 35 of Wilson, and it'll be down at around the 33. So not a terrible spot for the Lakemen to come back out onto the field to start their next offensive series, but a nice punt as well for Heschke. It definitely could have, not been as good there for NEWFANE.
And that's certainly a cause for concern if you're NEWFANE, that exchange between your long snapper and your punter. That's 2 in a row that could have gone for, well, it could have been bad.
So 6:41 to go till halftime. Wilson up 7-0 here with the ball again, looking to add on to that lead. They ended their last drive rather quickly, went 3 and out, started right around this portion of the field. And on 1st and 10, Uset handing off to Alice. He breaks through the middle, but wasn't able to get far. Thomas able to wrap him up and bring him down, but not before he gets a gain of about 9. So a great run there by Luke Atlas. He continues to push the line of scrimmage for this Wilson team. He's without a doubt been the most impactful player on the offensive side of the ball for either team in this one so far. So 2nd and 1 here. Uset under center. Got a couple receivers to his right. Puts the tight end in motion now to his left. And it looks like it's going to be a handoff to the tight end. the fullback, I should say. And Anthony gets across the 45 and picks up the 1st down.
Imagine that Lakemen will continue running that ball, that ground and pound attack.
Oh, yeah.
They were a throwing team previously. In last few years, they've had the quarterbacks that could sling it. And now they have a pretty decent running game here, and they don't have to run Atlas. I mean, Dispenza's already shown that he could pick up much-needed yardage.
Well, and last year they two very strong running backs in Dunlap and Westmoreland. And, you know, Coach Atlas, they have the same staff with the varsity team as for their JV team. So despite having a lot of new guys on this team or younger guys in newer roles as Atlas runs ahead for a couple of yards there, with the same coaching staff, that continuity really helps them, Frank. You know, they run the same system on JV and varsity. So despite new guys playing at the varsity level, it's not totally different for them. There's not a lot of teaching. They just go out there and they play.
I'll give a shout out to Drew Westmoreland, who is watching. Pleasure watching Westmoreland play the last few years previous with Wilson. He was a heart and soul type of player.
2nd and 6 here for Wilson, right around midfield. Under 5 minutes to play in this first half as they have a 7-0 lead. Atlas taking the run there, gets another few yards and didn't pick up the first, but is within a yard. The weather hasn't gotten any worse so far as we've gotten here. It stays around the mid to low 40s, wind on and off, but hasn't been too much rain since we've started. The sky's darkening a little bit, but that'll happen as, you know, the night gets later, but still a decent spring night for high school football. As I said, it feels more like fall, though. 3rd and 1 from the NEWFANE 46.5. You set, handing it off again to Dispenza, but this time he's going to be well short of the first down. A nice job there by the NEWFANE defensive line. Michael Pasquale, one of the first guys in there to make the tackle along with Michael Carmer, excuse me. And now it'll be 4th and 3 for Wilson, but they're in NEWFANE territory. They're on the right side of the 50. They got a 7-0 lead here, and NEWFANE's offense really hasn't moved the ball well at all in this one with short time until half. Not surprised that Wilson's going to go for this. You set in the shotgun, pair of receivers to each side. Atlas just to his right in the backfield.
Definitely trying to draw him off sides here.
And he got that play off just in time before the play clock hit 0. Uset's throw is away, but it's just short. Was looking for Paul Smith there. But, Frank, that's another nice stand by the NEWFANE defense, and they're going to take over here with about 3 minutes to go until half.
It certainly was, John, but what a block by Luke Atlas, 5'8". He's got a hard-charging Simon Lingle, number 54 for NEWFANE, 6 foot, 185, right up the gut. And Atlas got there to make the block. Excellent pass protection there to help his quarterback, buy him some time. The play didn't work out, but that was a really, really nice block by Atlas.
So now it'll be on Wilson's defense to come up with another stop here in order for them to take this lead into halftime. They got this 7-0 lead thanks to a touchdown earlier in this quarter. It was just a 1-yard rushing score for Anthony Dispenza, and it gave Wilson their 1-score lead right now. But 1st and 10 for NEWFANE, and unable to connect there was Snow. Was looking for Camden Rolls again, but pass was just a little behind him.
Yeah, Wilson's been doing a very good job on the NEWFANE receivers. They're not giving them a lot of space. They just haven't been able to get the separation.
So 2nd and 10 for NEWFANE now. As we said, they haven't really gotten much going on the offensive side. Haven't even gotten to Wilson's side of the field. They're close to that right now if they can get something going on this series. Snow able to get another pass away. Looking there. I believe that was intended for Thomas.
A lot of pressure on that left side. Mahar's really been bringing it all night, but they've been double and triple teaming him, giving Snow extra time. But, I mean, NEWFANE's done a good job at least containing Mahar. He had that nice big tackle earlier that led to the fumble, but since then, NEWFANE's done a pretty good job of containing Mahar.
And there's not a ton of wind right now, but there is a little bit, and NEWFANE is going into it, so it might be a little bit more difficult for Snow to throw right now under these current conditions. He tried to run it there himself, but doesn't get very far. And that was an interesting play call on 3rd and 10 just to run a quarterback draw. So it'll now be 4th down, and I assume NEWFANE is going to get ready to punt here, but we get a timeout call on the field first.
Well, it's a good timeout to take, too, if you're Wilson. I mean, if you think about it, John, the last 2 times NEWFANE's punted, they've had issues snapping that ball. And Wilson knows that. Wilson can smell blood in the water. That hasn't really gone too well for NEWFANE. And, 3rd time could be the charm for Wilson. If you're going to have a disruption there, this might be the opportunity you've been waiting for. And why not have a full 2.5 minutes in which to work with?
Yeah, Trevor Heschke, the punter for NEWFANE, has done a nice job the last 2 snaps, as Frank said. They've just they haven't been terrible, but they haven't been the greatest. They've just bounced off the turf, and he's had to get down a little bit to handle them, but he's gotten both kicks away. But as I mentioned with Snow a moment ago, he was throwing into the wind. Now Heschke's punting into the wind. We'll see if a bad snap, along with the wind and the rush that Wilson's been bringing, if they can force something here from NEWFANE on this punt. But Atlas is back around the 25 for Wilson to punt. It's a good snap, but it's blocked. And it's recovered right at the 45 by Wilson. They sent the house there on Heschke, and they got the block. The snap was good. The kick looked like it was good. But a hand got in front of it, and the Lakemen get what they needed on special teams. They take over inside NEWFANE territory.
John, what was I saying?
It was a great block. Yeah, I mean, you had it right there. So now they get an even shorter field, and Wilson got the ball to start this game. So scoring and going up 2 touchdowns before halftime would certainly benefit them as they're set to kick it off to NEWFANE at the start of the 3rd quarter. 1st and 10 for the Lakemen at the 45. You set under center. He'll drop back. Originally looked to pass, but handed it off to Atlas, and he stays on his feet despite being hit. Luke Atlas with another nice run there, one of many so far in this first half. He took an initial shot, but stayed on his feet and managed to pick up an extra 4 or 5 yards there.
That was a gutty run there by Atlas. It looks like NEWFANE had him for a second, but great second effort.
Yeah, just smaller guy, very low center of gravity, and there he doesn't get much on 2nd down. But he showed some nice footwork there to stay on his feet, not go down in the backfield, and that was a considerable gain on the 1st down play. Now we're inside 2 minutes. It'll be a 3rd and 5 situation here for Wilson. Looking to find the end zone before halftime and stretch their lead to 13 or 14 points. Maybe 15. Uset takes the snap, looking downfield. He's rolling to his right, gets a pass away and completes it. Paul Smith able to reel that one in, and he's knocked out of bounds just inside NEWFANE's 35. And that keeps this drive going for Wilson. And that's really the best throw we've seen from USET all night.
That might be the first completion we've seen all day from U13.
The clock still running. About 1:20 to go until halftime here. Both teams looking to get their first win of the season. Both 0-1 in league play. Wilson 0-2 overall. USET on 1st down, looking to throw again, and it's just out of the outstretched hand of Smith. And that time USET had to roll out to his left, so it might have been a little bit harder of a throw going across his body.
He certainly had him open. Smith had a step on the defender over the middle. And if he can haul that in, John, I don't think anyone catches him.
Well, I like that we've seen, more of the throwing calls from Wilson on this last series. They've been primarily run throughout this entire first half, and no reason to knock him for it. It's worked. This offense has been moving the ball almost every single play. They've gotten positive yardage, but just nice to see them looking at in different directions so far on this series, being a little bit more dynamic in their play calling. And right there, that pass sails out of bounds. USET was facing quite a bit of pressure. Michael Karmer, the big 6'5" defensive end, one of the first ones in there, providing the pressure for NEWFANE. So that'll bring up 3rd and 10 now for Wilson. Uset briefly going to the sideline to get the call, and now he jogs back to the huddle. Got under a minute to play in this first half. As I mentioned, NEWFANE set to receive the kick at the start of the third quarter. 3 receivers to Uset's left. He's in the shotgun here. Takes the snap, immediately gets pressure, and he's going to be brought down. Busting over the line there right off the snap was Andy Lisinski. He was totally unblocked. And that's going to push Wilson out of field goal territory. This is going to be field goal territory. This is going to be 4th and very long, 4th and 25. So that's a huge play, Frank. I think that's going to force the Lakemen to punt.
I'm afraid you're right.
And NEWFANE won't have much time to work with. The play clock and game clock only separated by 4 seconds. And Wilson's going to have to get the punt off unless they call a timeout before and then just try to use the punt as the last play. We'll see what they do here. And now we do get a timeout call with just 1 second left on the play clock. It's NEWFANE. And so they'll call that with 6 seconds to go in the second quarter.
And that was really the first time NEWFANE's gotten into the backfield to make a play, and no better time than right there. You know, they're only down by 7, but if they can hold Wilson here after what looked like an impressive drive, I mean, they were throwing the ball pretty well, getting some big gains. And then for this drive to end here this way, that's the plus for NEWFANE. They can go to the locker room. They can go to halftime knowing that they can stop this offense. And, you know, for a team that, you know, played Medina not too long ago and got run out of there 50-0, that's a nice, you know, bit of confidence. It's a confidence builder. They can play.
Well, and I wonder what you do here if you're Wilson. There's 6 seconds left until halftime. NEWFANE is set to receive the kick at the start of the third quarter. If you're the Lakemen, do you punt this ball away and risk a return, or do you just kind of take the punt and just kind of kill the rest of the 7 seconds? You just take the snap and, you know, run some timeout.
Coach Alice,
because it looks like they're running a play here.
He's a risk taker. I would say go for it.
So it's
if you got a guy that can throw the ball like you do, run a play.
Yeah, it'll be 4th and 25. 5 seconds left on the play clock here. Uset takes the quick snap. He's got 4 wide. He throws it over the middle. It's picked off. It went off the receiver's hands and in to the arms of NEWFANE's number 88, Sam Capon. Or actually, that was 38, Brett Bucalo.
Nope, 80, Xavier Thomas. That's his second turnover of the day. He recovered the fumble, and now with the interception here at the end of the half.
Yeah, and that'll bring us to halftime. 7-0 Wilson after 2 quarters. We'll take a halftime break and be back for more action here on WNY Athletics.
300 Level Media is a locally owned and operated multi-purpose media company right here in Western New York. You'll find us everywhere covering the Bills, Sabres, Buttes, Bisons, Big Four basketball, local college sports, and much more. Our staff offers a variety of media services, from video production, live event coverage, audio broadcasts, professional voiceovers, camera operation, and videography. Visit www.300levelmedia.com or give us a call at 716-427-2600. This is 300 Level Media.
When it's time to sell your home, start with a visit to howardhanna.com, ranked the #1 real estate site for sellers. A few clicks will show you the sales price you can expect for your home. We can get you the most money in the quickest amount of time because we know where the local buyers are and how to reach them. So if it's time to sell your home, visit howardhanna.com today, and we'll match you with a local Howard Hanna agent to sell your home fast.
I love being home.
At Cairo First Wellness, your health and well-being is our passion. Let us take care of you and your family like one of our own.
Cairo First Wellness Center is dedicated to providing patients long-term relief and teaching them how to continue taking care of themselves. With a blend of different techniques, services, and personalized treatment plans, we'll help you find wellness in a way that's right for you. Between chiropractic care, spinal decompression, nutritional counseling, massage therapy, custom orthotics, and more, your relief is in our hands. If twisting, popping, and cracking intimidate you, our Pro Adjuster restores the same range of motion as a physical adjustment would with gentle, repeated tapping.
Dr. Mo at Chiro First has been taking care of my back needs for the past 4 years. His staff treats you like family. I've had the traction, I've had the massage done, and every time leave here feeling fresh and brand new.
Chiro First Wellness Center. Your health and well-being, our passion.
Call 835-WOLF. Remember, you calling the wolf, that's all you had to say. Call today.
Why do you exercise? To look better? To feel better? To drop a few pounds? To train for an event? To defy age? Or to keep your ability to say yes to the things you love to do? Whatever motivates you, G&G Fitness Equipment is here to get you there. Treadmills, ellipticals, rowers, bikes, home gyms, and accessories. We'll pair you with the right equipment, teach you how to use it, and be there every step of your fitness journey. G&G Fitness. Your goal is our goal.
I love being home.
There's nothing better than owning the perfect house to come home to. You've earned it, and we'll make it happen. Our local real estate experts and in-house team of financial professionals make buying or selling your home simple. Howard Hanna. Home happens here.
I love being home.
Logistics Plus is a global transportation provider headquartered in Erie, PA with locations worldwide, including right here in Western New York. Logistics Plus is consistently recognized as a fast-growing transportation and logistics company, great supply chain partner, top freight broker, leading project cargo manager, and a great place to work. With a strong passion for excellence, our 500-plus employees put the plus in logistics. Call our Buffalo office today for an efficient, personal approach for all of your transportation needs. WNYathletics.com is the premier high school sports website in Western New York, providing the best sports coverage of Section 6 and Monsignor Martin leagues. Check out our page for daily game recaps and late-breaking sports news. Our online scoreboards are updated in real time. Never miss a goal or touchdown. Visit WNYathletics.com today or follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, and subscribe to our YouTube.
300 Level Media is a locally owned and operated multi-purpose media company right here in Western New York. You'll find us everywhere covering the Bills, Sabres, Buttes, Bisons, Big Four basketball, local college sports, and much more. Our staff offers a variety of media services, from video production, live event coverage, audio broadcasts, professional voiceovers, camera operation, and videography. Visit www.300levelmedia.com or give us a call at 716-427-2600. This is 300 Level Media.
When it's time to sell your home, start with a visit to howardhanna.com, ranked the #1 real estate site for sellers. A few clicks will show you the sales price you can expect for your home. We can get you the most money in the quickest amount of time because we know where the local buyers are and how to reach them. So if it's time to sell your home, visit howardhanna.com today, and we'll match you with a local Howard Hanna agent to sell your home fast.
I love being home.
At Chiro First Wellness, your health and well-being is our passion. Let us take care of you and your family like one of our own.
Chiro First Wellness Center is dedicated to providing patients long-term relief and teaching them how to continue taking care of themselves. With a blend of different techniques, services, and personalized treatment plans, we'll help you find wellness in a way that's right for you. Between chiropractic care, spinal decompression, nutritional counseling, massage therapy, custom orthotics, and more, your relief is in our hands. If twisting, popping, and cracking intimidate you, our Pro Adjuster restores the same range of motion as a physical adjustment would with gentle, repeated tapping.
Dr. Mo at Chiro First has been taking care of my back needs for the past 4 years. His staff treats you like family. I've had the traction, I've had the massage done, and every time leave here feeling fresh and brand new.
Cairo First Wellness Center. Your health and well-being. Our passion.
Call 835-WOLF. Remember, you calling the wolf. That's all you had to say. Call today.
Why do you exercise? To look better? To feel better? To drop a few pounds? To train for an event? To defy age? Or to keep your ability to say yes to the things you love to do? Whatever motivates you, G&G Fitness Equipment is here to get you there. Treadmills, ellipticals, rowers, bikes, home gyms, and accessories. We'll pair you with the right equipment, teach you how to use it, and be there every step of your fitness journey. G&G Fitness. Your goal is our goal.
I love being home.
There's nothing better than owning the perfect house to come home to. You've earned it, and we'll make it happen. Our local real estate experts and in-house team of financial professionals make buying or selling your home simple. Howard Hanna. Home happens here.
I love being home.
Logistics Plus is a global transportation provider headquartered in Erie, PA with locations worldwide, including right here in Western New York. Logistics Plus is consistently recognized as a fast-growing transportation and logistics company, great supply chain partner, top freight broker, leading project cargo manager, and a great place to work. With a strong passion for excellence, our 500-plus employees put the plus in logistics. Call our Buffalo office today for an efficient, personal approach for all of your transportation needs. WNYathletics.com is the premier high school sports website in Western New York, providing the best sports coverage of Section 6 and Monsignor Martin leagues. Check out our page for daily game recaps and late-breaking sports news. Our online scoreboards are updated in real time. Never miss a goal or touchdown. Visit WNYathletics.com today or follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, and subscribe to our YouTube.
Call 835-WOLF. Remember, you calling the wolf. That's all you had to say. Call today.
I love being home.
We realize now more than ever is the perfect time to have the perfect house. We're confident we'll find your dream home. Howard Hanna. Home happens here.
Call 835-WOLF. Remember, you calling the wolf. That's all you had to say. Call today.
I love being home.
We realize now more than ever is the perfect time to have the perfect house. We're confident we'll find your dream home. Howard Hanna. Home happens here.
Call 835-WOLF. Remember, you calling the wolf. That's all you had to say. Call today.
I good to start here? Okay. Yep. And welcome back to WNYathletics.com, WNY Athletics YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, wherever you may be watching. John Simon, Frank Wolf here, live from Wilson High School. Just about ready for second half action between Wilson and the visiting NEWFANE Panthers in this Class C North Division football matchup. Wilson holding a 7-0 lead as they're about ready to kick this off to NEWFANE to start the second half. The lone first half touchdown coming on a 1-yard run from Anthony Dispenza very early in the second quarter as we are underway. And the third quarter starts with a kickoff that goes out of bounds. That'll be a flag against Wilson. And NEWFANE will get a very good starting spot here for their first possession of the second half.
John, I have some numbers for you. NEWFANE, 9 of 19 passing. 9 for 19 rushing, 1 of 15 for passing. Penalties, 4 penalties, 25 yards. And they held the ball for 7 minutes and 44 seconds. Wilson held the ball, time of possession, 13:30 in that first half.
Yeah, that's a pretty considerable difference. That really, the big difference in this game is how Wilson has been able to keep NEWFANE's offense off the field. But now they're on to start this third quarter, and once again, Wilson's defense not giving them any room to run.
Check out this stat, though, John. On third down, Wilson was 1 of 11.
No, that's not great.
On fourth down, 3 for 4.
That's better than 1 for 11. You almost just want to go right to fourth down at that rate. So no gain for NEWFANE on that first down run from Jason Dumays. And they get good starting position here at Wilson's 40. This is probably their best starting spot for an offensive drive all evening. And they haven't really gotten much going. As Frank said, just 34 total yards in the first half. Now, Snow on the run. He gets away from the pressure but has to run out of bounds. And I don't think he got much of a gain there. And that's a nice job by number 66 in white, Josh Hoyt, the defensive lineman for Wilson, chasing down Snow there to force him out.
Well, he ran a long while just
Yeah.
to pick up anything.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to give him only a gain of about 1 yard, maybe a yard and a half. So this brings up another third and long situation for NEWFANE. And I know you just went through Wilson's numbers, but NEWFANE not really finding much success on third down so far in this one either. Snow takes the snap, fakes the handoff, sees some pressure, and he throws an interception. It's picked off by Jakes. He sheds one tackle, and he's got nothing but daylight. He scores. Jared Jakes with the pick six, and Wilson doubles their lead to 13-0 without their offense even coming out on the field yet here in the second half.
And the pressure from Mahar got to the quarterback again. He didn't necessarily take the quarterback down, but he forced him to quickly make that throw right into the waiting hands of Jakes, and he turns it into a pick six. But Mahar with the pressure again on that NEWFANE quarterback.
So now Wilson lining up for the extra point here. Jared Jakes will be the one to kick it, looking to complete his interception return touchdown with a good extra point. Snap's good. Kick is away. And it looks like he got it through. And that will extend the Wilson lead to 14-0 here early in the third quarter. And, you know, we said it, NEWFANE had a chance to get back in this game, getting the ball first, down just 7 here in the second half. But Wilson's defense coming out and giving them a big gut punch, forcing their second turnover of the game and finding the end zone in the process.
Well, that'll wake up a sideline real quick when you have a pick six like that. And it wasn't an easy run to the end zone either. He did have to break a tackle after making the interception. So great athleticism there by Jakes, and Wilson out to a 14-0 lead.
And I don't know, what they'll officially, list that return as, but that was about a 40, 45, 50-yard return there for Jakes. And that gives his team, as we said, a commanding 14-0 lead now. And NEWFANE returning the ball once again. This one being run out by Lusinski. Actually, that's 32, Dakota Baker, not 22. And Baker returns that out past the 30.
Not a bad return for Baker there. NEWFANE really hasn't had the field position.
No, they haven't had too many good starting spots. They've had a few out by the Wilson, or out by their own 40, but they have not spent much time, if any, on the Wilson side of the field tonight. And they're going to have to, block that most recent turnover out of their memories fairly quickly here. As they're now down 2 scores early here in the third. First down snap. Snow keeps it after faking the handoff. He runs ahead for a couple, but once again in there on the tackle is Ben Mahar.
Nice design run there by NEWFANE to pick up a couple, get some positive yardage.
It'll now be about 2nd and 7 for NEWFANE. Maybe 2nd and 8. And just over a little under 2 minutes gone by here in the third quarter. Gotten much darker here since the first half. That halftime really, it wasn't that long, only about 15 minutes. But it has gotten much, much darker out since the second quarter. And get a few more yards there out of the Dumais run. It'll be about 3rd and 5 coming up here for NEWFANE.
You say darker, I'm going to say a lot colder.
Yeah, well, that'll happen with the sun going down. And the wind has certainly picked up a little bit more just by looking at the flags on the top of the ends, or the goalposts, I should say. Right now, the wind kind of in NEWFANE's favor. It looks like it's at the Panthers' backs. And they may look to throw here on this 3rd and 5 situation. Snow is in the shotgun. Got a couple receivers out wide to each side. He sees some pressure right away, though, and he's brought down. Eben Mahar came bursting through that line with a ton of speed. Number 72 in white was virtually unblocked. And that sets NEWFANE back quite a bit. That's going to bring up 4th and long and, assumingly, another Panthers punt.
Yeah, that's NEWFANE's left side of the line there is where, Wilson's taking advantage of. That's where a lot of the pressure's been coming from this afternoon.
So this will be 4th and 13. As I said, NEWFANE going to punt here. Atlas is right at midfield, just a little behind midfield, actually, set to receive the punt for Wilson. It'll be Heschke again. This time gets a nice snap, gets the punt away. It was blocked his last attempt. Atlas fields the punt, doesn't fair catch it, or I guess he did signal for the fair catch, as the official signaling down at his own 45. And I'm surprised, Frank, if he did signal for the fair catch, they should be throwing a flag to NEWFANE, and there it is.
2, as a matter of fact.
I think there might be one against Wilson as well. And I think Atlas or somebody over there got hit with an unsportsmanlike. But then NEWFANE should be getting the penalty as well for hitting the returner after he signaled for a fair catch. I didn't see Atlas signal for the fair catch.
No,
I don't know about you.
I had my eyes on him. I did not see him signal for the fair catch.
I was a little surprised because he did have, a couple blue jerseys right around him when he caught that ball, and thankfully for him, he didn't fumble it. But, yeah, I didn't see him, signal for that, and we got an unsportsmanlike against Wilson. But I believe with the penalty to NEWFANE as well, those will probably just offset, and it'll keep the Lakemen right at the 45. We'll see where they move the line of scrimmage, but I think, like I said, they'll stay right here at the 45.
Okay. Looks like they're calling on sportsmanlike on both sides. Are they offsetting penalties, John?
So maybe there was no penalty on the actual hit. Like the initial hit on Atlas when he was returning the punt, maybe both penalties were assessed to whatever happened after the whistle. Interesting. Very, very interesting. But we're finally ready to get back to football. 8:13 is on the clock here in the stadium. Wilson's offense on the field for the first time here in the second half. They've gotten their lead stretched out to 14 thanks to the interception return by Jared Jakes just a few minutes ago. 1st and 10 from the 45. You set under center. Hands that one off to Atlas. He goes right up the middle, and it's just another solid run for number 2 in white. That's another gain of about 4.
You know, John, I don't know how accurate the stats are that are on the Section 6 website, but coming into this game, Aisho Atlas was only averaging a little less than a yard per carry. And today alone, he had 87 yards in the first half.
Pretty good. Must have done their scouting on this NEWFANE defense. The rushing attack has certainly led the way for Wilson tonight. Led to them dominating time of possession in the first half, and it's a rushing score on their first touchdown. 2nd and 6 now. Atlas the carry again, and he's able to scramble ahead for another couple yards.
John, his numbers were 16 carries on the season, 12 yards. Now, one of those carries was a touchdown, but nonetheless, 0.8 average yards. But in that first half, he was 20 rushes for 87 yards.
Yeah, I mean, he had an incredible first half. Hasn't found the end zone yet. It was actually Anthony Dispenza with the lone offensive touchdown for Wilson, that back early in the second quarter. But Atlas has been the big difference maker tonight for the Lakemen. 3rd and 4 now. You set another handoff. It's Atlas again, and he picks up the first down and then some. And actually, it was Mason Branca. I just assumed with the burst of speed there, it was Atlas. It looked like an Atlas run, or all the Atlas runs have throughout the night, but that was Mason Branca, number 1. So the third running back we see to get some action in the backfield tonight.
For years, I've been getting the Atlases confused. I've been calling Bill Bob and Bob Billy, and, well, you can't really mess Luke up.
You can, you just haven't managed to yet, which, you know,
Give me another
a huge
quarter.
credit. So 1st and 10 for Wilson at the 41 of NEWFANE. That last run by Branca able to move the chains. Here's Branca again on the carry out to the right, and he gets between a few tacklers and picks up some more yards. Mason Branca with some nifty footwork out to the right side of the field there. Was able to put a couple NEWFANE defenders on the turf. That moved the chains again for Wilson, and the momentum just continuing to shift in the side of the Lakemen.
And we're not surprised that the Wilson Lakemen came out running the ball again. That ground and pound attack that was successful earlier in this game, they've gone back to it early here in the second half, and it's chewing up quite a bit of clock. More importantly, it's extending drives.
For a team that only scored 6 points in its first week and 14 against Will South in week 2 and a 43-14 loss, I mean, scoring 14 points and the offensive performance that they've put on tonight has to be, you know, pretty confidence boosting for Wilson, as you said. As Wilson gets another nice run there from Atlas, picks up 8 and gets inside the 20 of NEWFANE. So Wilson looking to reach a new season high in point totals in the game. So they're knocking on the door of the end zone once again.
Very competitive division in Class C. Only the top 4 teams are going to make the playoffs. So it's collectively across the divisions. The top division winners, and then the 4th team will get in. But you don't have really a lot of room for error here. So this is a big game for the Lakemen.
4.5 to go in the third quarter. 2nd and 1 here. You set, handing it off. Branca the carry. Looks like he got enough for the first. We'll see where they spot him.
Looks like he will have enough for the first.
Yeah, they got him inside the 18 of NEWFANE, so that is enough for a first. As we're inside, 4 minutes to play in the third quarter. Wilson on top of NEWFANE, 14-0. Lakemen looking to get their first win of the season, as are the Panthers. Wilson 0-2 on the year. NEWFANE 0-1. Snap, Branca, the handoff. Got his ankle wrapped up initially, but was able to stretch ahead for another yard before being brought down.
Yeah, once they get down inside this 20, that NEWFANE defense tightens up considerably.
Yeah, they've done a nice job. They forced a turnover in the red zone back on Wilson's first drive of the game early in the first quarter. They were able to hold them to a stop at the end of the second quarter right before halftime. It's just come down to the one score by Wilson and then the pick six earlier in this quarter.
And the touchdown Wilson had earlier, they had that real short field to work with.
So this will be 2nd and 7 for the Lakemen. They're at the 15 now, a little bit inside the 15 of NEWFANE, actually. Set under center, hands it off to Atlas, gets through a few tackles and moves ahead for a gain of 5 or 6.
He's tough to bring down. I mean, he's shifty.
Yeah, he is. Just does a nice job of going right between the bodies in the trenches there. Very low to the ground, quick steps, and just makes nice cuts to get in between the tackles there.
Does a good job of following that lead blocker, waiting for the hole to open up, and once he sees it, he's gone.
And Wilson's strategy of ground and pound and wind the clock down has certainly worked. We're approaching 2 minutes here in the third quarter. Set the handoff to Dispenza, and it looks like he pushed ahead for a big gain, but not enough to get in. They're going to rule him just short. Looks like he got down to the 1.
This is Dispenza territory.
Yeah, we saw him score on a 1-yard rush back in the second quarter. It's the only offensive score of the game for Wilson, for either side, obviously. Now we're in the final 120 seconds of the quarter.
Wilson's done it pretty cut and dry here. They're not using trick plays, no trickery. It's just hand the ball off and go to work. I mean, they're not trying to trick NEWFANE here at all. They're showing them what they want to do, but they're doing it.
And it'll be handed to Atlas. He took a shot from behind, and it looks like they got him down just before he crossed the plane. So that'll bring up 3rd and goal now for Wilson.
This is where you want to find that big blocker. You want to find the guy that's going to open up that hole for you.
So the clock is now down to 1:15. Wilson shifting some bodies out. They still got plenty of time to get the snap off. 18 seconds and running on the play clock. 4 out wide here for Set. He's under center. 2nd and goal here, and they get in. Set kept it himself and plunged his way forward. And that extends the Wilson lead to 20-0 here in the final minute of the third.
So Wilson caps off their first drive of the half. It converts, gets some points on the board again, extends that lead to 20-0 with the extra point coming up. But they inflicted their will on that drive, no doubt.
Now we'll get another extra point attempt here. They're 2 for 2 so far. And you can make that 3 for 3. I tell you what, Frank, I don't want to criticize the officials, but from the angle that we're at in the press box, the signal that the kick is good would certainly help, just a little bit up here, just for our sake.
Help us out.
But the kick is good, so that extends the lead to 21-0 for Wilson here with, like I said, just a little under a minute, 53 seconds to go in the third quarter.
I see the cross-training athletics crew is here on hand at Wilson today. They'll be passing out the player of the game, if you will, or the cross-training athletics will recognize one player from each team for sportsmanship conduct.
So Wilson about ready to kick it back off here to NEWFANE. The Lakemen with a commanding 21-0 lead here with just a little over 12 minutes to play in regulation in this game. Got 53 ticks left in the third and then a whole fourth quarter to play. As Matthew Carr sends that one away for Wilson. On the return here again is Baker. And he gets knocked down right around the 30-yard line marker. And that is where NEWFANE's offense will come back out and still looking to get something going here as we approach the fourth.
To get on the other side of the field.
Yeah, no, they haven't been over midfield yet. Haven't gotten the greatest of starting field positions sometimes, but they've been around the 40, the 45, just haven't really put anything together yet. And, you know, we're getting to the point where the game might be out of reach for this offense. Haven't really been able to hit any big plays. Haven't been able to find any consistency.
They need to find a way to get Xavier Thomas going here. He's a big wideout. He's been open. He's getting separation on Jakes on the outside. Snow just hasn't been able to find him just yet, and it's a credit to the pressure that Wilson's front defense has been putting on him.
And Snow faking the handoff there and taking it himself, but was brought down for little to no gain. And we'll see if NEWFANE elects to run another play before quarter's end. It would certainly be wise to, as time isn't really their ally right now, being down 3 scores. But they are certainly taking their time getting ready here. Still plenty of seconds to run something. 15 remaining in the quarter. Snow in the shotgun. Set the receiver in motion, and now we get a jump. And that'll back us up. It's going to go against NEWFANE. 5-yard penalty for a false start. And like we said, Frank, there haven't been too many penalties in this game, but the ones that have been called against NEWFANE, those certainly haven't done the Panthers any favors. Pretty much takes away any little momentum their offense gets.
That'll be it for the third quarter.
Yeah, they'll just run the clock down after that penalty. So through 3 quarters here at Wilson, the Lakemen leading their arch rival NEWFANE Panthers 21-0. We'll be right back for fourth quarter action here on WNY Athletics.
Call 835-WOLF. Remember, you calling the Wolf. That's all you had to say. Call today.
We realize now more than ever is the perfect time to have the perfect house. We're confident we'll find your dream home. Howard Hanna. Home happens here.
300 Level Media is a locally owned and operated multi-purpose media company right here in Western New York. You'll find us everywhere covering the Bills, Sabres, Buttes, Bisons, Big Four basketball, local college sports, and much more. Our staff offers a variety of media services, from video production, live event coverage, audio broadcasts, professional voiceovers, camera operation, and videography. Visit www.300levelmedia.com or give us a call at 716-427-2600. This
And welcome back to WNYathletics.com. John Simon, Frank Wolf coming to you live from Wilson High School for tonight's varsity football matchup. It's a Class C North clash between the Wilson Lakemen and the NEWFANE Panthers. Wilson on top 21-0 here as we start the fourth quarter. NEWFANE with the ball and facing a 2nd and 14 after just being hit with a false start before the third quarter came to a close. Zach Snow still under center for NEWFANE. Takes the shotgun snap, sees some pressure. He's going to roll away from it. He got the pass away, but no one in sight there, at least in a blue uniform. And that'll bring up 3rd and long here for the Panthers.
John, you've done Wilson football games. I've done Wilson football games. But this is the first time we've done Wilson football games at Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
And I look down to my right in the press box here. There is grass growing in this press box. Look at that in the windowsill. Have you ever seen grass growing in the window?
I've never noticed that
I've never
before.
seen it before.
That is quite something. They've got a beautiful facility out here, though, at Wilson. It's relatively new turf stadium with the lights, and they've got a nice series of fields out and around the facility here.
They're not going to get that past me. Grass in the press box. Sorry, I'm going to catch that.
So 3rd and 14 here for NEWFANE. Couple receivers out to each side of Snow. He hands it off on the play. There's a flag on the field, but we get a nice run. from NEWFANE's Trevor Heschke. But we'll see if the flags negate this play and bring it back.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a hold going against NEWFANE here. And their two biggest plays of the afternoon or the evening.
Yeah,
called
both
back
negated.
because of holding.
And yeah, like we said, haven't been too many penalties called on NEWFANE, at least not an egregious amount. And it hasn't been what's killed them in this game. It's just been the lack of finding a rhythm or just getting something going. But each time they get something, a penalty immediately takes it away. And it's, you know, it's only been two, but it's been the two big plays, as you said, for them so far. So, you know, and that's really, you know, what Coach Nagel, said of their first game against Medina. Yeah, it was a 50-0 loss, but he said that all the errors that they made, Frank, were fixable. And despite them being on a 10-day pause, them missing their Week 2 game, he thought that, you know, a lot of the guys were going to be able to fix some of those errors from the first week. And while they're not losing by as much of an amount as they were in Week 1 to Medina, this is still likely not going to be a win. So while they did make some improvements, there's still more that NEWFANE will have to make. And that'll be up to them to assess and then, you know, eventually do in practice over the next week.
And, John, it's not like they're being blown out here.
No.
I mean, Wilson had 2 touchdowns scored off of very short fields.
Mm-hmm.
And then they had the turnover.
Right. It's come down to just getting stops when you need to. Wilson's just been able to kill them in the time of possession battle. And their offense just hasn't found any rhythm. And anytime they've gotten a big play, a penalty has hurt them. And now on 3rd and long, that's not going to do them any favors. Snow gets brought down for another big loss. And this is a guy whose names we've been calling all night, Ben Mahar, the first one in there again for Wilson. And he's had a huge night on the defensive side for the Lakemen.
Try and find me someone who has more fun playing football than Ben Mahar right there. I mean, that's what you want to see in high school football. A kid getting to the quarterback and celebrating and getting his sideline, getting him up, getting him going.
So this is 4th and 19, or 4th and even longer. It's like 4th and 20, it looks like. So the Panthers left a punt. They get a nice kick away from Heschke. And Atlas will take it from about the 46, and it looks like he signaled for a fair catch. Frank, he must have the most subtle fair catch sign I have ever seen, because that is twice now that I have not seen Atlas wave a hand for a fair catch, and then they've downed him. So, hey, if he's doing it, he's doing it. I don't want to take anything away from him. He's played a great game tonight. But, man, help me out. Show that you're doing the fair catch a little bit better.
If I could just get him to come up here and help me with the scoreboard here, we'd have a complete night.
Hey, man, we're running with a skeleton crew, but we're getting the job done. 10:58 to go. The Wilson offense going back on the field. And, Frank, I would assume that their strategy now, not go into a total shell to protect this lead, but basically do what's just been working for them all game. Stick to the run game, ground and pound that ball, and keep the clock turning until it hits zeros and you can walk out of here with a win. We'll get a good starting spot at the NEWFANE 45, and staying in there is Mason Branca. We hadn't seen him at all in the first half, but got a number of carries on the last drive, which eventually ended in a 1-yard rushing touchdown by Tyler Usett. And now we see Branca still in there at running back.
And this is a game that Wilson needed to have, John. You're running into a buzzsaw next week with Medina, who's just had their way with Class C in their first 2 opening games. But you get Medina, but then you get another team that's been looking for some kind of revenge, and that's Akron. Because Akron remembers what happened here last year in Wilson. They haven't forgotten. That was a very, very tough team, Akron, that came up here last year and lost, suffered a terrible injury to one of their top players. Wilson took full advantage of that and went on to have a very successful season and had a shot at winning the Class C title, of course, a spot that Akron thought they should be in last year. It didn't happen.
2nd and 10 here for Wilson as Usett's pass is batted down and nearly intercepted by Michael Carmer, getting that big 6'5" frame in front of that pass, and he's got a long wingspan.
So in saying that, John, Wilson wants to be at the top of their game. Going into a shell right now, I don't know if you can do that. You have to go out there, win, and just get better every single play. It's not just every day. It's get better every play because, again, they are going to run into a very, very tough Medina team, and then they have Akron. So this is a game they need, but they also have to get that momentum.
Yeah, and their offense has hit a little bit of a snag here. No gain through the first 2 plays, now facing a 3rd and 10. You set back in the shotgun. Quick pass out to the right, and it's dropped.
You talked about rhythm with NEWFANE not being able to get into a rhythm today. Wilson wants to make sure that they get into that rhythm and maintain it from this point on, to the rest of this game.
Well, they just lost the rhythm. They're now facing 4th and 10, and they're at the 45 in NEWFANE. Wouldn't be the most riskiest thing to go for it here, but I assume they're just going to punt.
And I would too. I would too. Get the offense off the field, put the defense back out there. What's no harm in sending your defense out there, the work they've done today,
right.
the game they're having. Bring the offense in, talk to your leaders, let them know what plays you want to run on your next possession, and get it going. Get after it.
Nice punt there from Jakes. It bounces around the 20, and it'll be down there by Wilson. So after just the second 3 and out of the evening by the Wilson offense, NEWFANE's offensive group will return to the field here. And they got short time to work with if they want to come back in this game and make things interesting. 9:44 to play in the 4th, and still 21-0. Wilson in front.
Lancaster's up on Will North 38-0. Bennett leads Hutch Tech 28-0. We've got 3 shutouts going on right now across Western New York High School football. 21-0 here.
Got plenty more action coming tomorrow night as well. Going to have a big Class B matchup out at Cheektowaga between the Warriors and the visiting Iroquois Chiefs. Is on first down. Snow keeps it. He's got a first down and more. He's able to hurdle a defender and gets wrapped up and thrown out of bounds just past the 45. No flags are on the field, so Frank, for the first time all night, NEWFANE has a big gain, and it's not going to be brought back due to a penalty.
Yeah, Branca with a nice tackle there to force the quarterback out of bounds. And no laundry on the field, so as you said it, John, that's NEWFANE's biggest play of the afternoon.
So in the 4th quarter, down 3 scores. The Panther offense may be finding life now. They're approaching midfield, haven't been in Wilson territory virtually at all tonight. But now would be as good a time as any to get there. 1st and 10, Snow fakes the handoff and keeps it. He'll get ahead for a yard or 2 before being brought down just short of the 50. Just looking ahead for NEWFANE. After this week, they will play their what was regularly their week 2 scheduled game against Tonawanda on Tuesday, April 20th. That'll be at Tonawanda. Then they'll play next Saturday at home against Akron. And then they'll wrap up the season on May 1st at Cleveland Hill.
There's a big matchup coming up next week. St. Francis and Maritime, it's official. They're going to play. Maritime's telling us the game's on Monday, but I could have sworn Jerry Smith told me if it happens, it's going to be on Tuesday the 20th. So we'll have to wait and see. Get official word on that.
Another rushing attempt for NEWFANE on 2nd and 8. It was Jason Dumays again, but he got stuffed by that Wilson front for no gain. Just looking ahead for the Lakemen. They, after this game, playing against NEWFANE, will play Medina, as Frank said, on the road on Friday, April 23rd. And then they'll wrap up their regular season on the road against Akron. Or actually, they'll be at home against Akron on April 30th at 7 p.m. 3rd and 8 here for NEWFANE. Still looking to get into Wilson territory for the first time. Snow takes the snap, waits to pitch it. He finally does. And they get across the 50, but they're not going to get much more than that. I believe that was Trevor Hashke that he pitched the ball to. But NEWFANE's going to be well short of the first down here.
NEWFANE player got hurt on that one, John. Number 76 got up really slow. And he's walking off the field very gingerly.
And that's Michael Pasquale, a junior offensive lineman, one of their bigger guys in that group, listed at 6', 270. So looks like he's staying on the field, or
definitely walking.
And now he's
it
walking
off.
back to the sideline, but not now he's walking back to the huddle again. So it looks like he's staying in.
It wasn't, he didn't take a shot, above the neck, so it wasn't like anything like concussion protocol or anything like that where he would have to leave the field. He got up gingerly, and he's walking it off, and it looks like he's going to stay on the field. Tough dude.
Yes, and his team certainly needs him. Down in 21-0 in this game, and time continuing to run out for NEWFANE. Under 7.5 to play now, but they are in Wilson territory. 4th and 6 from the 49 of the Lakemen. Snow drops back, sees some pressure. He's trying to run away from it. He gets the ball away, but it falls incomplete. And that'll be an end to another Wilson drive. And there's 7:13 left. I don't want to say it's the final nail in the coffin, but if Wilson can do what they've done well for the majority of this evening and run this clock down with this possession, it might be all but over for the visiting NEWFANE Panthers. And you guys gotta just give a lot of credit to Wilson for how strongly they've come out and played tonight. It's a rivalry game. NEWFANE hasn't played in over 2 weeks. They're probably a little ticked off after losing their opening game 50-0, having to wait another 2 weeks to play. And Wilson has come out and completely shut them down in a rivalry game where, as we said, you throw everything else out the window. The only thing that matters is what's going on the field. 1st and 10, you set handoff to Atlas, and he's going to be dropped for a loss of about a yard or two.
You look at that score, 21-0, but for those of us that have been watching, that have been doing this game, it doesn't look like a 21-0 game. Again, Wilson with the short field position to score on 2 of their drives, and then the pick six. It's been a lot closer than the score would indicate.
Yeah, it's really come down to the NEWFANE offense just being, just off to a slow start this year, not being able to get a lot going. And we've said they had to replace a lot of impact players from last year. They had some of the top rushers in all of Western New York, so to fill that void is certainly a tall task. 2nd and 12, you set in the shotgun, gets a pass away to Branca, tried to get some separation on the outside, but he's wrapped up and brought down for only about a gain of 1. So that'll bring up 3rd and 11 here for Wilson.
Wasn't surprised they were in passing. They called a passing play there at all.
We'll see if they elect to throw it again here on 3rd and long. You set. Just got the call from the sideline as he heads back to the Wilson huddle and brings his unit to the line. 5:45 to go. Wilson looking to improve to 1-2. If the score stands, NEWFANE will drop to 0-2. 3rd down, you set, fakes the handoff, gets rid of it, and just in front of Branca was that pass. He was looking for Mason Branca over the middle of the field and landed just a stride or 2 in front of his intended receiver.
Can't say for certain, but Michael Carmer of NEWFANE got in the quarterback's face on that throw. He may have been able to get a hand on that ball. He is 6'5", 215.
Yeah.
It looks like he got a hand on it.
Yeah, we've seen him make a number of nice plays on the line tonight. Knocked down one of Uset's passes earlier. Was only a stride or 2 away from catching up to the ball and intercepting it. But, he's got the perfect frame for a defensive lineman to be a huge impact player on that edge. And we've certainly seen it from him. That's been one of the few bright spots for NEWFANE here tonight. But on the punt, a nice return by Heschke. He gets some space and then is thrown down right around the 30. And Wilson showing nice sportsmanship there, quickly helping the returner up.
Yeah, Brank has been all over the field, John. I mean, we've mentioned his name a handful of times, but he's been in on a number of big plays. Good coverage there by the Lakemen on that punt.
So with 5:17 to go, NEWFANE's offense headed back out to the field. A win may not be in the books at this point, but a comeback, certainly hard to put together with limited time and an offense that just doesn't seem capable of hitting the big plays in this game tonight. But you've still got 3 games after this. You're a relatively young team. There's a lot that you can work on in this game, and certainly NEWFANE shouldn't go away quietly over the last 5 minutes here. And Snow looking to throw deep on 1st down, and that one just missing. That was intended for Sam Capen. But like we said, NEWFANE, they still got some improvements to make. Still 3 games left to play this year. And we said this is a rivalry game. They're going to want to play this game until the final whistle, no matter what the score is.
No kidding, absolutely. Chuck Nagel is the coach of the Panthers, and he played for NEWFANE. He was the first coach to get him into the playoffs since he was a player. So, there's a lot of pride in that on that sideline.
Snow avoids the pressure and gets his throw away, and he's able to complete the pass to Justin Edminster. That about a gain of maybe 1, at least where the line of scrimmage was, but it's not going to be much.
Inside 5 minutes now in regulation.
And that'll bring up 3rd and what looks like 7 for NEWFANE here. And once again, a spot for the Panthers where it's either keep the drive alive or seemingly say goodbye to the chances of winning this game. Come to the line. Snow going to play in the shotgun. Takes the snap, drops back, gets a quick pass away, was looking for Capen again, but that one was just a little too high for the senior receiver. And that'll bring up 4th down. We'll see what the Panthers elect to do here. It's basically punt it away and let Wilson try to just run the clock out, or let's run a play and see what happens here. We got nothing to lose, but it looks like a punt is what they're going to elect to do here.
You really want to just put one nice drive together here. Go into the next game knowing that you can move the ball, that you can pick up first downs, that you can complete a pass, that, NEWFANE really wants to have some kind of momentum heading into that next game Tuesday against Tonawanda.
And once again, Heschke doing a nice job to quickly handle the bad snap and get a nice punt away. This will be down by NEWFANE inside the Wilson 40. And with 4:06 to go in this game, that is where the Lakemen will start their next possession on offense.
So the Lakemen have pretty much done what they've wanted to do almost on both sides of the ball. Offense has some work to do, though. They do have they have to be able to throw the ball, especially heading into that game against Medina. They're going to have to be able to throw the football. And that might have been one of the reasons why Coach Atlas had elected to throw the ball on their last possession. When we thought they might just continue grounding and pounding it, they actually attempted some throws on their last drive.
Play clock winding down to just 5 seconds here. Wilson's going to have to quickly get a snap off unless they want to call a timeout or get a delay a game. Or, you know what? Maybe the officials aren't even going to worry about it. And now we got a flag, and this, I think, is going to go against NEWFANE. Frank, I know it's spring football. I know it's fall, too. I know it's a different season, but I have never, and I mean never, any level, any league, any sport, whatever, seen more officials make up more rules as they go through a game than I have so far in the first 3 weeks of this high school football season. I've seen touchdowns taken away because of unsportsmanlike penalties. I've seen, just flags taken away because things are. I've seen too many rule changes in mid-game this season. I've seen enough for a lifetime already. I don't know enough about football as it is. I don't need people changing the rules on me during the game when no one can relay to me what the rule being changed is. But anyway, 4:06 to play. 1st and 15 for Wilson here after the penalty. It was against Wilson. They did realize it was a delay of game, I guess. But they run ahead for a gain of 7 there. I did think, Frank, the penalty was going to go against NEWFANE because a Panthers defensive player did jump first on the line. But they did get the penalty right. It was a delay of game against Wilson. I didn't get to mention that during my mini rant there. For those of you that are still sticking around for the final few minutes, we thank you for tuning in to WNY Athletics tonight. Hope that you'll stay with us tomorrow and Saturday. And are there Sunday games this week?
Not yet, but
it could happen.
Hold your breath. You're at Cheektowaga?
I will be. I'll be
Iroquois?
at Cheektowaga Iroquois at Cheektowaga High School tomorrow night with Mr. Stu Boyer on play-by-play. That'll be a big matchup in Class B. So we got 2nd and 7 here for Wilson. Branca on the carry there, runs ahead for another yard.
I'm going to head down to Jamestown to watch the big Class A battle of unbeatens between the Jamestown Red Raiders and the Kenmore West Blue Devils. They're both 2-0. Norm Rodriguez will be on the call. Storm and Norm, they call him, down in the Southern Tier. Tom Prince, I'm not sure what game he's doing. I think it's Medina.
He's everywhere. I think you're right about that. Him and I were talking about that earlier,
Medina,
but he's
Cleveland.
everywhere. It's hard to keep up with where Tom Prince is and when. 3rd and 7 for Wilson here. 2:35 to play in this one. The Lakemen on top 21-0. Just trying to run out the clock and take home a win here as Branca runs that one for no gain. Wilson, as long as the result stands, will improve to 1-2 on the season. And NEWFANE will drop to 0-2 with the loss.
You know, that game they took on short notice last week against Will South was just what a team like this needs. They need to know how hard it is to play against those bigger, badder opponents. Let's say Wilson was to sneak in one year to play for the class, you know, not just the sectional title, but go to regionals. You're going to have bigger, tougher, faster teams. And the only way you're going to get better is if you take on those tougher opponents. And for Coach Atlas to step up and say, yes, we will play you, Will South, that was huge for this program.
Jakes into punt here for Wilson on 4th down. Gets a nice kick away. It's returned by Heschke, but he doesn't get too far for NEWFANE. Going to be whistled down for forward progress, and now we get some flags being thrown. I don't think that Wilson hit was intentionally supposed to be late, but we do get a flag and might even get something against NEWFANE as well. We'll see how the officials sort this out here.
Well, it's a rivalry, so, you know, nobody wants to be embarrassed, and neither team wants to lose this game. So, you know, sometimes, you know, you're 14, 15, 16, 17-year-old boys. Boys will be boys, John.
You were just mentioning, you know, the Week 2 game against Williamsville South for Wilson. Like you said, Frank, it's exactly what this Wilson group needed. But, you know, just frankly speaking, you know, when I talked to Coach Atlas, he said they had about 24 hours of notice before that game. They didn't really have any time to prepare going up to play a Class A team, a team that's physically bigger than they are, stronger overall than they are. They've got more athletes than Wilson does. I mean, he didn't sell his team short, but he gave it to me straight, Frank. They knew that they were going to be outmatched in that Will South game, and despite having no prep time, no practice on Will South, they played the Billies pretty tough. Yeah, it was a 43-14 final, but they were within a couple scores at halftime, and Atlas said a couple people told him they could hear Coach Krasansky from Will South yelling at his guys during halftime. They thought they were going to run Wilson out of the stadium, and the Lakemen ended up giving them a pretty good game. So like you said, that might have been a nice confidence boost for them leading into this rivalry game this week, and the results have certainly shown as they've played a great game here tonight against NEWFANE.
Well, the thing is, John, you know, there's that mystique, right? You're Class D. You can't compete with a AA team. You know, their AA players are way better than Class D players. It's not necessarily the case. There are guys that Cam Barmore, wide receiver down at CSP, was as good a receiver you will find
Anywhere.
I mean, he's a huge target.
He could have played at Canisius.
Yeah, and he's at Mercyhurst, scored his first collegiate touchdown last weekend. So the thing is about the Class Ds, the Cs, going up against, if you're measuring them against these AAs and A schools, it's not that they don't have good athletes. It's not that they don't have big, strong athletes. They just don't have as many. That's why they have bed numbers, and that's why Wilson is playing against teams from like Tonawanda and Cleve Hill, Southwestern. They're on an even pace with the number of students that they can pull from. You know, Cheektowaga, they have a lot more players there than they do here, or to choose from they do here at Wilson. Williamsville North, Jamestown, they have hundreds of more kids to choose from than they do here at Wilson or at NEWFANE. So, you know, it's not necessarily that they have bigger, badder, better athletes. They just have more.
You know, for Wilson, though, you know, Coach Atlas did say the success of 2019 did help them a little bit. And with, you know, football not clashing with other fall sports like soccer, cross country, they got a couple more guys to come out as now we get a big run here from Heschke. Trevor Heskey running for a first down and then some, picking up a nice gain for NEWFANE, getting them as far as they've gotten into Wilson territory all evening. Wilson territory, I should say, all evening. And now we get a timeout called by NEWFANE. But as I was saying about Wilson, they've got a relatively young team because they graduated a lot of their big names from last year. But Coach Atlas did say with the success that they had, along with the popularity of the Bills going up a little bit from this past season, and no other fall sports clashing with football, it's led to a lot more guys coming out. They've got 40-plus guys on JV. They've got a decent number on varsity. Their success, he said, last year did help them in a way, though. And while they don't have as many kids to choose from in this smaller school, the success of the team at least has led to them getting a few more guys to come out, which is always great for any program.
And then you have this complex on top of it. I mean, look at the field.
Right.
This football field, this football complex is as good as any in Western New York. It really is. And this press box is better than a lot of the press boxes we see in the AA schools.
Well, careful. We still want to do games at other schools after this, Frank. Let's not,
We do, but this is a very nice press box to do a game from.
It's a beautiful field, like you said. If I'm a
Excellent
7th grader, 8th grader, freshman, and I see this, I tell myself I want to be playing games on this field in the near future. So it's definitely an exciting time to be a part of Wilson football, coming off a great 2019, having a solid season so far, and Coach Atlas is confident about the group heading into this fall. As now we get another big play from Wilson. Snow completes a big pass over the middle to Justin Edmister, and laying a big hit in the secondary was Wilson's Michael Miller. And now we get another timeout called by NEWFANE as they're approaching end zone territory.
This is big, John. It really is, because you get that momentum. If NEWFANE can cap off this drive with points, it's going to carry them into the next week. They were shut out by Medina. They're getting shut out all game by Wilson. But this drive here, if they can cross that plane and go home with 6 points, 7 points, whatever it is, that's going to be huge for their confidence heading into their game on Tuesday with Tonawanda.
Yeah, that's a short turnover from this game to the next. They're going to be playing 3 games in the span of a week and a half, really, between tonight, Tuesday, and the next Saturday. 3 games in 9-10 days for NEWFANE. It's certainly a lot to handle. So having a strong finish to this game, like you said, would certainly give them a lot of momentum heading into the second and third games of this quick stretch. And if you're Wilson, you want to end this game with a shutout, I assume. They've played hard the entire way. They've kept NEWFANE's offense off the board, kept them from really gaining any momentum throughout the night. And I feel like, either way, you're likely going to come out of this with a win. But, rivalry withstanding, you want to come out of here with the shutout that your defense has earned.
That's what they're playing for right now. Wilson has put in the backups. Okay, I mean, let's face it. I don't see Ben Mahar on the field, but still, they don't want to surrender right now. They don't want to give up any points, and NEWFANE doesn't want to be shut out. So there might be a minute left in this game, but you're going to see it's going to be a quick minute, but it's going to be a hard-fought last minute in this football
First
game.
and goal from the 10 here. Snow handing it off. It's Edmister, and he's tripped up and brought down. Nice play there by Andrew Stover of Wilson. That's number 19 in white. And with the clock running.
Was that a shoelace tackle, John?
Yeah, shoestring, shoelace.
Shoestring
Might have
tackle?
just gotten the toe of the shoe, any of that. But that's a big tackle as NEWFANE, with the clock down to about 35 seconds, is only going to have time to run 1 or 2 more plays in this game.
Single coverage on the top of your screen.
Snow takes the snap, drops back, throws it to the end zone, and it's knocked away, but we got a flag. Paul Smith was in there on coverage for Wilson. The pass was intended for Sam Capon, and he was knocked down just as the ball was coming in there. So that's a nice break for NEWFANE. They get the clock to stop.
And that is on Wilson.
And with the penalty to Wilson, they'll get moved up a little bit here.
So they had the matchup they wanted. I mean, you've been calling Capon's number a lot the second half, 88.
Mm-hmm.
He did have the coverage, or he did have the separation he wanted. That's the matchup they wanted. We'll see if they go back to it.
This will put them at the 5-yard line. 19 seconds to play. NEWFANE down 21-0, but looking to get on the scoreboard here. Snow takes the snap. He's going to run it, and he takes a big hit and gets pushed back behind the line of scrimmage. And I think that will do it for Oh, no, we get a timeout. It's another timeout by NEWFANE, their last. So that'll give the Panthers the opportunity to run one more play in this game. And I know if you're sitting outside in this game, you're probably not the happiest with Coach Chuck Nagel and his team calling a timeout here with the game virtually over. But like you said, Frank, you've earned the spot to get down to this point of the field. If you're NEWFANE, you've worked hard all game. You want to finish it off strong with a touchdown.
That was Xavier Fitzgibbon for Wilson coming up with that big tackle there to keep the shutout alive.
So out of the timeout, NEWFANE's offense back on the field, ready for the final play. Wilson, bearing anything certainly unforeseen, they're going to come out of here with a victory and improve to 1-2 on the season. Get another win over their arch rival NEWFANE. And the throw to the end zone is incomplete. The clock stops with 5 seconds, so NEWFANE will get one more play.
It was in and out of the hands of the Panther receiver.
And this will be, the scoreboard says second down, the down marker says fourth. I think it's fourth by my count.
John, there's 5 seconds left. It's 21-0.
Yeah, it doesn't
got
really
one more
matter.
play. Either way, they're down to their final play here, folks.
So the Panthers will come to the line here looking to just get on the scoreboard before the clock hits 0. Snow dropping back, rolls to his right. He might take it himself. And he gets pushed out of bounds as the clock hits 0. NEWFANE attempts to go for points at the end. They don't get it. Wilson preserves the shutout, and the Lakemen earn themselves their first victory of the season, a 21-0 win over the visiting NEWFANE Panthers.
Yeah, convincing win for Wilson, but NEWFANE, they struggled offensively all game, John. That final drive, though, was good for their confidence heading into this matchup just a couple days away now with Tonawanda, who's on pause right now. But these two teams will be back in action real soon. Wilson is heading to Medina. That is on Friday, April 23rd. And on Tuesday, you'll see the Panthers up at Tonawanda. That's on the 20th.
So, for our cameraman, Mr. Mike Wagner, for Frank Wolf, I'm John Simon. Want to thank you all for tuning in to tonight's broadcast. Wilson improves to 1-2 with a 21-0 victory over NEWFANE tonight. We'll be back for more high school football action very, very soon on the WNYathletics.com Facebook page, YouTube, Twitter, again, wherever you can watch us. So again, for Mike Wagner, Frank Wolf, I'm John Simon. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll hope to see you back here very, very soon for more high school sports action on WNYathletics.com.